Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
All right. Welcome to another episode of In Tune, Old Heart Radio's music podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lucas. Here to just talk about a few things I like, bringing it on with some new vinyls. I got a new album that we're checking out. Hey, make sure you're following the Instagram. I threw out a few little things about today's topics. We're talking about the new album from M83, a band that I personally don't have much history with. We're also going to be talking about Ford. The dude put out his vinyl, the record released about a year back. It's all good stuff. How y'all doing? Anybody got recommendations? Make sure you hit up the Instagram. It's down for checking out whatever anybody says. I don't care the genre. I'll tear it apart if I don't like it. Might be getting a bit of that sometime soon, hopefully. But hit me up. I'm all about hearing what you guys want. And now let's get down to business here. Let's get down to it. Old Heart Radio, In Tune, episode 3. It's happening. We're getting there. We are getting there. Here we go. So, M83, band that's eluded me for many years. I personally haven't listened to much of these guys. I did a little catch up, and I think the gist of where I really learned much about this band, or the reason I learned about this band as much as I have, is because of a good friend of ours, goes by Generiffus. He, at work one time, I was like, hey, you know that Midnight City song by MG83? Yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I made that joke. That's sort of a one-hit wonder, right? I haven't really heard much from that band. I wonder what they do. He very, very seriously looked at me and went, man, they make great music. Don't hate on them. You gotta check them out. They were great. I was like, oh, okay. He's this of all people. He's passionate here. He's feeling it. Check out his band at Generiffus on Instagram. Dude, I watched his show last night. Put on a great show. I love that sort of classic rock vibe. But that spurred me to look into this band's history a bit more. Personally, one of my favorite songs by them is Kim and Jesse. It's off one of their earlier albums, and then Midnight City obviously is a great song. Most people that have been in relative touch with the sort of indie pop scene recently have heard that. But then also Go off their Trash album, I think that's what it's called, is, let me see here. We got Junk, not Trash. Junk. Oh, that's, well, it's all pretty good stuff. So, we're getting into their album, the dude's new album. Let's talk some history here first. It's French. So, M83 is a French electronic music project, and it was started in 2001. They've got a good handful of albums here. Got M83, self-titled album from 2001. Dead Cities, Red Seas, and Lost Ghosts from 2003. That's deep. Before the Dawn Heals Us, 2005. Digital Shades Volume 1, 2007. Saturdays Equal Youth, which is 2008. Hurry Up, We're Dreaming, 2011. That's the one that Midnight City is on. Junk from 2016. That's the biggest break they've taken, 5 years here. And DS7, I guess. Spelled with Roman numerals. Wait, what does that mean in the Roman numerals? Oh no, that's from 2019. Whatever, it's DS7 for the time being. So that one just came out, and my honest thoughts on it are that it's fine. If anything, it's too much of a good thing. I need to look this up. There's a dude who I've seen a handful of times on YouTube, and he makes these. It's Annie is the name of the YouTube channel. He made a cover of Clair de Lune, the classic piece of music, and he did a cover of the Deku Forest theme, I'm pretty sure, from Legend of Zelda, except using a modular synth. And that is sort of the vibe I got from this entire album. If I were to say there was one takeaway I had from this, it just feels bloated, honestly. None of it is bad. I actually thoroughly enjoyed most of this album, but there's too much and it overstays its welcome, to say the least. I feel like the novelty and the beauty of the music itself is lost because this could very well have cut 5 songs off of it and had the same impact on me. Just to go through the songs. The first one we got here is Hell Riders. Second one, Bit of Sweetness. 3, Goodbye Captain Lee. Personally, my favorite song. Colonies, Meet the Friends. Feelings, also really good. A Word of Wisdom, Lune de Fiel. Jos de Enfance. A Taste of Dusk, Lunar Sun, Oh Yes, You're There Every Day, Mirage, Typhoon Glory, and Temple of Sorrow. So that's 15 songs. That's a huge album. And the way that I've been thinking of this is almost as if it is a movie score. This is like somebody took the mentality of, oh, let's pay homage to synth pop of the 80s like they did in Stranger Things, except treat it like we're scoring a Legend of Zelda like game. Or even in some of these pieces, I just called it pieces because it's very classical in its writing style. Some of it almost feels like it could be in like a Halo game, to be honest, or scoring like that Oblivion movie from a few years ago. A few years, it's like a 7-year-old movie now. I enjoyed it, to be completely honest. Lune de Fiel was beautiful. Goodbye Captain Lee. The reason I like that is because it's short and sweet. A lot of these songs are upwards of 5 minutes. I mean, the album itself is 15 songs and it's an hour long. Like, that's obnoxious to me. I'm like, there's a handful of these that clock in at around 7 minutes. But the big issue for me is the tonality doesn't change. It's so much of the same. It can very well be meant to just mold together into one cohesive experience. And hey, that's not a bad thing. I actually like music that does that. That there has to be a more dramatic shift than what happens between most of these songs. The only ones that really stood out to me when I listened to it straight through and didn't really pay attention to the changes in songs were Goodbye Captain Lee, because that one's a bit more upbeat, it's a bit happier. Feelings, that one is also a bit more upbeat but still has this like classical nature to it. And then Lune de Fiel and Jos de Enfance. There's nothing about this album that is bad, and I will give it credit where credit is due. It is actually a very beautiful album, and I can totally see myself listening to this while like on a long drive or just on a plane. It'll make the minutes go by, especially if you're not actively paying attention to the song you're on or where you are in the album itself. Then absolutely, I can understand it. But there has to be something else going on here. I feel like there needs to be some kind of visual medium paired with this. Somebody should make a short film and like an hour-long short film, whatever, and use this to score the whole thing, because it very well could be done to great effect. The album itself overstays its welcome, absolutely, but I won't take away from the energy that it provides. It is a fun album, to say the least. And while listening to it, it gave me some memories of my good old orchestral times. That's been a long time, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So if I had to say I doubt this is going to stay in my personal rotation for long. I'll leave it on my playlist because I don't think any of it's bad, but I'm going to give it like a 6, like a soft 6, 6.5. I was disappointed. I think the dude's done better. I like I said, Kim and Jesse's a lot of fun. There's some previous albums that I listened to recently that are great too. But this one, it's just a bit bloated. And if I had known that there was like a visual medium or something paired with this, I would have liked it way more. And it would have made a lot more sense to me. So yeah, that's M83's new release. Go ahead and check it out. Follow the Instagram. Give me your feelings on it. I'm more than happy to listen. Because who knows? You guys might be right about some of this stuff. I might be wrong. We all got our own opinions. We all know what's up. All right. So then getting on to our vinyl of the week here. Ford, 19-year-old dude. He's traveled all over the world. I'm pretty sure his name is Luke. And he put out a record about a year back called The Evening. And it's this very cool, like sample heavy, just like soft electronic vibe, very like a kind of house-esque, but then there's some really cool percussiveness to it, but it's all relatively downbeat. And I thoroughly enjoyed that album when it released. So the vinyl, as soon as it came for pre-order, I snagged it. I really liked how this sounded on vinyl. It sort of suited the down-tempo nature and the sort of softness that was already presented in the music. And I think the bit of static made it sound sort of vintagey, and I thought it paired well. Yeah, the sound quality of vinyl isn't up there with listening to something in your earbuds, but still, it adds a subtle novelty to everything. Still standout songs on the album, I would have to say The Evening, the title of the album, the one that the album links to, is really good, as well as Dusk, Warmth. I actually like this entire album. It's one of my... I've continuously listened to a handful of the songs here, and I'm definitely worth checking the dude out. He's a relatively new artist. He's done a handful of remixes. He's part of the Forum Family Collective, which is Odessa's music label. Support them. They're giving small producers and beat makers a platform to release singles and actually get some notoriety, and there's nothing wrong with that. We might as well support the little guys sometimes. But yeah, I really like that album. I mean, like, shows my personal bias here, that I love that style of production, but I'd give it like a 7.5 to an 8. The dude, like, I've been listening to it straight for about a year now, and I think the kid's got places to go. He's younger than me. He's already making some real quality music. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I'm excited to see what comes. I'm excited to continuously listen to this vinyl over and over again for the foreseeable future before I inevitably put my Jungle album on there. But yeah, hey, thanks for listening. This has been another episode of In Tune. Follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter. We're doing insult of the day on Twitter. Maybe there's a Facebook, I don't know, have to ask Jared. Hey, keep listening, we'll keep talking. See y'all soon.